All right. So the last thing I want to do now is pull this all together. We've had, well, 11 awesome speakers other than myself. So I happen to think I'm pretty awesome too, but there's the old school learning and whatnot of how to not accomplish. So 12, heck, why not? Thank you, Bunny. This is for you. 12 awesome speakers today. And earlier in the day, I focused a little bit on the how do you make time for your money, your time, your relationships, your things. And all the speakers throughout the day have hopefully sparked you to think better, how to create a better life, how to find the time to rest, how to think bigger, how to sleep better, all these different ways, how to open up your perspective, how to connect with your intuition, so many different things. And what I want you to do is think about now where it is you're looking to go and the exact direction of where you're looking to go. I'm not so concerned. It's like, well, wait, I want this number by this date. Just generic direction. Are you still in? Are you looking to make your life better? Are you looking to go forward with this? Chances are, if you're still here, you're saying, yeah, wait, I want a life that's better, that's fuller, not just so I can run away from something, kind of like what Alex referenced, but so I can move towards something, a life where I'm helping people more, where I'm making more money, I'm impacting more people, I have more time with my family, my friends. Chris Krimitsos has talked about, intentionally planning time. As I sometimes tell people, look, I do my best to hustle with my family on the weekends. In other words, do awesome stuff with my family, and then also do awesome stuff on my work days. So what I'm going to suggest to you is now there becomes a point where we want to pull this together in this conversation and decide, okay, is this doable or what can it look like? And so I'm going to walk you through what a 3-day weekend game plan can look like. And it doesn't mean it's going to get you there right away, but it's going to give you a roadmap and an idea of how to get there. And why that's so important. In my case, it took me 22 years after graduating college to get to this. If somebody had shown me what I'm about to show you, I could have gotten there at least 10 to 12 to 15 years earlier because I just would have been going there. So basic big picture concept, a lot of people are very intent that they need to get a raise financially in their income over a certain amount of time. So at some point, maybe you made $5 an hour. If you're my age, at some point you maybe earned $3 an hour. Then you had 10 and you earned 15 and 20 or whatever it might be. And you grew and you had in your mind that, look, at some point I'm going to grow. There's this expectation. And if you ended up in an organization where they wouldn't reward you that way, you'd say, oh, I got to go. So you have this expectation increasing income, and yet zero expectation of increasing your free time, or little expectation. Or maybe, hey, if I'm here for 20 years, they'll give me an extra couple days off. So a lot of this is just about what you're aiming for. And there's downsides to what's happened with the pandemic, but one of the awesome things that's happened is people are more focused on results and making things happen, as Almega shared in his conversation. So how do you create this 3-day weekend lifestyle? First, I'm going to walk you through, there's really sort of a 12-step process to this. And then I'm going to show you some tools you can use. One is the written tool, which you have in front of you. And another one, if you're a little bit of an Excel geek like I am, then there's an Excel version you can do with this. And so basically, like anything else worth doing, you need to see it, you need to plan it, you need to do it. And see it, the first thing you're going to do, and I'm going to go through these steps first, then I'm going to kind of talk you through them. And you can follow along in your workbook if you're in there. It's towards the last section. First, list all the things you would do if you did not need to work. And who would you do those with? So you might say, I'd hang out with my family. Chris Carinzo said he would go to lunch with some of his best friends and go out with his family and hang out and socialize with awesome people and meet and connect with awesome people. So list what you do if you did not need to work and who you would do those things with. And so right now in this step one, we are talking about time outside of work. We're not looking to knock work. We're just saying, though, what if you did that? Number one. Number two, just envision, when would you spend your time doing these things? So, okay, yeah, I do that on, and again, I'm going to stick with Friday, Saturday, Sunday as the concept of a 3-day weekend. It could be different days for you. But if you go that, okay, on this day, I would do this, I do that. During the week, on these evenings, I would do this, whatever it might be, envisioning when that time is. And then this is possibly the most important part. There's a concept I like to talk about that kind of goes with the conversation that some people say there's, either work-life balance or life-work balance, or simply saying that we're going to put you first. Now, that doesn't change reality. If you have a job, you still need to perform for the business. You still need to perform for your customers. But schedule your life outside of work first, and then your work hours. And don't even get to specifically what you'd be doing during your work hours, but just what would that work be what would that life be outside of work? So on Fridays, I'm going to do this. Evenings, I'm going to do this. Saturdays, I'm doing this. Sundays, I'm doing this. First, assume that work's going to take care of itself. And eventually, we'll look at the details on that, but don't worry about that yet, because we first want to go with what you want, what's going to excite you. And again, this is not just a dream. If we don't do anything with this work, it's just going to be a dream and not a goal. So there'll be action behind this, but we're going to start with what would that schedule look like? And then make this decision. At some point, you decided you were going to get a job. At some point, you decided you were going to brush your teeth every day. Whatever it is, this is another decision that you're going to work towards a 4-day work week type lifestyle, work-wise, 3-day weekend, or whatever's the best schedule for you they're aiming for. So all of these first 4 steps, they're very cool, they're very fun, they're very energizing, and they're in the envisioning or the seeing part of it, and they're very cool, but we can't stop here. If we just stop here, then we've just got another idea, another possibility that may not happen. The next thing we want to be able to do is then bring the math in. We've said how we want to live. What would the income be necessary to support your lifestyle? And I'm going to show you how we're going to break that down in the tool, because that's relevant. And then identify the results or projects that will provide the desired income. And I'm going to suggest you focus first primarily on the results. So there's this concept in consulting or coaching that if I want to get a $1,000 check, I need to help the client get at least a $10,000 result. Because if I can help a client get a $10,000 result, I can get, as long as I market well and get the word out, I'll get tons of clients that will gladly pay $1,000 to get a $10,000 result. So you identify what's the results, not the project, not, well, it's this widget. I have a software as a service business, and my business helps calculate payroll for small business owners. Okay, that's the mechanics. Why? To get their team members excited about performing at high levels. So put simply, it motivates producers to sell. Now, the clients who purchase my software and invest in it year after year, they don't want software. They want more sales. As I like to joke with them, if I had magic brownies and my magic brownies would give them more sales, they would buy my magic brownies. Sadly, I have no magic brownies, but I have software and I have coaching, and that's the best path that I know. So they want that result and they're willing to invest in that. Then you start to eliminate all activities and projects that don't support your top projects. And this can be sharp or it can be progressive. I like the progressive approach, like Al talked about, of slowly working a little bit less each week. The idea of choosing one thing, maybe once a month you drop something, but you stick to it. And so implicit in what Al said is not, well, this week I dropped 10 minutes, then I drop 10 minutes again the next week, and then I go back and then I add 30 minutes. No. It's a progression in a certain direction. And the assumption is, barring a couple, one days where you're off here and there, you're moving in a certain direction and you're maintaining. So we're going to eliminate the activities and projects that won't support our top projects. And then there will be certain things that need to be done. They're essential activities that can be done by a competent person, but they're not your main top results areas. And so then we want to be able to, in order to do it, focus on those few critical projects needed to obtain the desired results. Now, these are all these rows are the same size and they're all pretty colored. This one, if this was by percentage, this would be about 80% of the space here. So this is where a lot of the activity is. This is all the things most of our speakers have talked about: connecting with people, being great, reading, learning from other people, doing the work. And then you can finalize your schedule and say, okay, here's what I'm going to do within my work schedule to implement these vital few projects. I'm going to track my key activities, and I'm going to track my projects, the people, and report the results monthly. And then finally, I'm going to adjust. I'm going to keep an eye on what's going on and adjust and make tweaks as I need to. So if I look at this, it's pretty simple and straightforward. Let me go to the next slide here. And so if you use, you can do this in the workbook, which I've included with you that you have if you've downloaded that. And it's in the chat. It's also in the online place. Or you can use the software. The software is not in there, but I can get you the links for that. And so in the software, what you do is basically the same thing. So let's look at some examples here. This person says, here, what do you want to do? Well, I want to list, I want to do family dinner with the family. I want to have date night with my spouse. I want to have the beach with friends. Okay, that's step one. Step two, when would you do this? Or envision, okay, I do this many hours per week. How often? Very similar to what Bunny had talked about. Schedule something you're going to do. And as she mentions, definitely do it. Schedule specifically when it's going to happen at these times. So there's time in my calendar then. And so when you're starting out, this would not be looking to collide with what you already have planned in your calendar. It would not be about you having to change your work. If you're an employee and you work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, you say, great, this is going to be outside of those times because I can fully control that. If you're an entrepreneur and you can take off on the Friday, you say, great, I'm going to 11 a.m. Friday, I'm going to go to the beach. And then decide. And in making that decision, there's also going to be some action. So you might need to, make it happen is kind of an easy one to say, well, just do it. Date night, we might need a babysitter. Beach on Friday, I'm going to need to finish my work by a certain time or a certain day. So this is where this starts getting some teeth as far as how you're going to plan this, how you're going to do this. And this is where the math really hits home here. So whatever your situation, I like round pretty numbers when I'm doing things so people can understand them. If these are my expenses that I need after tax, in other words, this is my take-home income, that's what I need, then I've got to start finding what are those projects that I'm going to do that are going to help me make this money to pay for this. And so I have presumably these highest impact activities that I'm going to look to focus on. And each one of them makes a certain amount of money. I have a certain number of, I'm going to use the model of clients in this case. It might be different things, whatever it is you measure, you get measured upon. And so now I'm mapping out that, okay, this is how I'm going to make this happen. This is not yet necessarily where I'm at. This is what I'm aiming for, because I'm not yet where I want to be, but I'm saying this is what I'd like to see happen. And so here's what I'm going to eliminate. Now, whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, freelancer, side hustle, whatever the situation, there are going to be things in your work that you can let go of. I know one of the things I learned inside of large corporation was if I could avoid the meetings and find excuses to avoid the unproductive meetings, that was awesome. So I was usually involved in at least 2 project groups. So when one project group was meeting, if it was going to be unproductive, I said, oh, I got something to do in the other project group, which I did. And I'd move back and forth between the two rather than sitting through useless meetings and that sort of stuff. But there's certain things you can find that simply you can eliminate, and you not doing them is not going to hurt you at all. And then there's other things you're going to have to say that, okay, these are not for me to do. Somebody else is going to do this for this to work. And then ultimately, I had back here some ideas of the projects under step 6. Under step 9, I'm going to say, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to see, at least again, if I'm aiming, I'm going to aim for more time in this higher income per hour project. And it's not always the case. You might say, wait, I like activity number 2 the best, so I'm going to spend more time there. Great, whatever makes you happy. Usually, if you enjoy growing and you enjoy challenges, the more creative challenges, the more interesting issues. When Bunny talked about having 4 clients, those are high impact situations, high impact where you're helping them get a high impact result for themselves. And so you can make a high income result in a way that's sustainable. And then from there, it just goes into planning out what you would do when. And this is where you do get granular to say, okay, here's what I'm going to do at these different times. Here's what my schedule is going to look like. And again, it might not be there yet. As we talked about earlier, I might have to first look at my existing schedule and then go to where I want it to be and say where I want it to be, I'm going to make this one change per month. And then next month, I'm going to change another hour. Next month, I'm going to change another hour. And then after that, you just start tracking your projects and the income, your costs and what they've cost, the things you're able to eliminate, the things you're able to delegate, and then checking in to see what's working, what's not working, and what do you need to do about that. So again, the majority of the work is being done in this 4th step, the do it. Again, so the see it is maybe 5% of the time of this process. It's awesome. It's exciting. It gets you really excited. Another 15% or 16% of this. So it's like almost like 4%, 16%, and then 80%. 80% of it down here is the work, doing it, learning, implementing, and then checking back in on a regular basis to see what's working for you. But most of the things that are powerful, whether it's Michael Hyatt's work or Tony Robbins or Wayne Dyer or Deepak Chopra or Arianna Huffington or any of these people, it's simple things that they're executing consistently. and doing well. So this is about you having a roadmap to understand, how can I get there? And so I'm not quite so concerned that you get there yesterday as I am concerned that you have a game plan of how you can make that happen. I want to just thank all of our speakers who showed up, all that they've given and contributed to you. Please support them, follow what they're doing. Let them know you saw them at the event and you heard from them. And all of them, they're helpful people. They're people who will serve you. See what you can do to learn from them and learn more about their work. Reminder, you can always have people still join to get the recorded part of this and the follow-ups at 3dayclublive.com. And once you're in the online site, you can invite people. And if you invite people, you will get fabulous prizes. Thanks again to our sponsor, PodFest, for Andrew and Chris and the whole community for making this possible. Roughly half of the speakers today were from PodFest. And then thank you for Alex and Podmatch for sharing what you've done, because that's also part of where more of our people have come from. And then just two other quick things. Number one, remember you have, or at least hopefully you have, you might not have it yet, there's the workbook. So if you don't have the workbook, it's in the online site. And basically, all the way through, all the things we've done today that I've done, all the exercises, you can go through them at your pace whenever you want. You have some of the questions for the people that put them in there. A lot of information and content in there to help you implement that. Thank you for coming out. For those of you all who shared, some of you all have been here all day. Danny, Alec, Almega, man, thanks for being here the whole day. Thank you so much for coming out. To all the speakers, Catherine, I know you're still on, different people, everybody else who supported what we're doing. So grateful for what we have done. For those of you all who've been here simply listening, thank you for participating, doing what you're doing. This has been very enjoyable. Please let me know whatever I can do to help you. Again, inside the community, you can reach out there. If you're not certain, just send an email or a text to me. Thank you for what you all have been doing and contributing. This is a group of people. Alex, thanks so much for doing what you're doing. Definitely check out what he's doing. And even if you're not into a podcast, check out his, it's creating your own podcast yet. Check out his Creating a Brand podcast, see what he's up to. A lot of great wisdom on there from awesome people. And dude, man, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for supporting Alex. Thank you, everybody else. If you have any questions, let me know. And again, we'll be here. Well, I'll be here all week. We'll be here next week again, following up on this. And then there are other things I offer, like individual coaching and whatnot. If you support anybody, whether it's Podmatch, Podfest, any other speakers, if you invest in something of theirs, I will be giving you 1 year of the content to all of the premium programs I have, other than, let's say, any private coaching, but any of the group programs, just because, again, want to support each other. I think you noticed people weren't here like, hey, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. They're just here looking to serve. And by the way, Alex, your black table with the black background on Zoom, because I see both you and I, is tripping me out. It looks like your hands are about to come out when you put them down here on the bottom of your screen. It looks like they're going to come out of the screen at me. Exactly. Like, it looks kind of 3D. Anything you would add, Alex?
Man, no, just again, it's what everyone has said. Wade, you do such a good job, man. This is a phenomenal, this is your first time doing an event like this even, and it's just done, executed well. The communication on the back end that people can't see is really good with me as a speaker. Great job, man. Really honored to be here. I'm so thankful that you gave me the opportunity, and really excited for the next one. At the very least, I'll be attending it, but you've done some great work here. So thank you for just making this happen today, man.
All right. Thanks so much, man. And everybody for coming out. Thank you for all the participation in the chat, all the comments, for sticking with us. And again, I've said this before, we're not superheroes. We're regular people. We're happy to help. Please reach out to us. Don't do that whole thing. Well, they were on a stage or this and that. I'm not actually standing on a stage. I'm sitting on a chair. We're regular people. More than happy to help you. But thank you for coming out. And as I always say, I look forward to helping you all help more people and make more money in less time. Do what you do best, so you can better enjoy your family, your friends, and your life. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. Hope you have an awesome week, and look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care, everybody.